Your good word helps us reach more people with storytelling that touches hearts and opens minds. We'll be with you shortly. Join Eth-No-Tec in staying safe, sanitize, and put your mask to the task. Pass along this message and pass along this link. Please subscribe to Eth-No-Tec's YouTube channel, Storytelling with Eth-No-Tec. We'll be streaming very soon.
So, before we do anything, let's everyone unmute yourselves because...
How do I change my name here?
Oh, you know how. You just like to be the one. Okay, so. Ta-da!
Oh, my God.
Hey! It doesn't fit. Ow!
So heavy.
Ow! Ah! Age is tedious.
Oh, my God.
Do you see? It's actually, you probably can't see it, but there's a picture of a very old, wise man in there.
Oh, my God. The weight of responsibility.
Yeah.
So everyone, unmute yourselves, and we're going to sing happy birthday, and do it as cacophonously and raucously as you can, all right? So everybody, unmute.
Cha-cha.
And ready. Happy
birthday
to you.
Happy
birthday to Robert.
Happy
Beautiful. Music to my ears.
So thank you. Diane, we're going to need to put an asterisk in front of your name.
Who's going to do that?
Rupa will, Diane Sewell McCash.
Okay.
Yeah. Or if you know how to do it, you can do it. But
I'm going to change my name. It's time to
oh,
change
never mind.
Anyone know how to change my name?
Of course, you go to.
I'm going to be Robert Wang.
Don't worry. Okay. So let's start with photos of his childhood.
Oh,
all right,
God.
we're going to start right in. And we're going to see him as a little baby. And he's a cute little boy. And then
wait. I have one of the little baby.
yeah, please do it. And then you're going to go preteen and finally teen. I want the salute.
Okay, well, some of the sloop's missing, but let me give you some of this. But by the way, thank you everyone for coming, and you'll get to see the full sweep of what 69 years does to a human being. But, with this rock and rolling and always keeping the wheels moving, the wheels are always turning in my life, even at an early age.
Look.
Oh my gosh.
Aww.
Oh, so cute.
I needed 4 wheels because 3 was just not enough, and I would eventually graduate to 2, but I think 4 keeps me rolling.
Okay, now as a young boy.
I don't have the young boy one.
Yeah, I thought you had a.
Well, oh, that's okay. So,
You're a young boy there. What do you think you're?
okay, so then I went to grade school, Hillcrest Elementary School in Concord, California, and
A conch.
Concord is a very well, what can
It's
I
a
say?
suburb.
It's a suburb, and
It's a
one Chinese restaurant when I was growing up,
Hodunk suburb. It was a Hodunk suburb.
one
when he
Filipino
was-
barber family. And then there was the Japanese American Club. Thank goodness, saved my butts. But I wanted to explore more than just my Asian identity, so I thought maybe I'd learn about Switzerland. So there I am.
Look at those cute legs he's got.
Yeah, yodelay.
Okay, and now the next one.
Okay.
We're going to just go right through them. Boom,
Oh,
boom, boom.
okay, then let
Because
me
we're going to
boom,
get going
boom.
here.
Okay, let's do the boom boom. Okay, now some of you in the crowd maybe some of you were, oh yeah, Diane, you're there. You saw this. There I am when I had hair and less fat. Lots of that. And I was a cheerleader. Yep, I really was a cheerleader.
Yep.
And
Okay.
football games and all that stuff.
Okay, so
Okay.
now we're going to start. Not yet.
Oh, not
Not
yet.
that yet. You can take that off.
Okay.
So we're going to start now with knowing that most of you know Robert as being a mellow and very peaceful guy, right? Just so easy. But I have heard stories of when he was a young kid playing soldiers. You know those plastic, what's the
Army
army
guys.
green plastic army guys? They would they would play battling in war, and then Robert would take a match
Candle.
and he would melt parts of each of them and go.
One day we were creating mutants. They were exposed to radiation, so their arms are all deformed and.
Yeah, nice, mellow, peaceful guy.
Sometimes I use gasoline.
And oh, great. So gasoline. So in addition, he would and his older brother would compete with who could make the most fierce, the most lethal warship,
Submarines.
drawing them, submarines, all that stuff.
Militarized force,
Yeah.
underground.
And he played cowboys and Indians, but of course he played the Indian.
Of course. And we had Gatling guns.
And so as Indians, they would get those cowboys.
Yeehaw!
And the other thing he and his brothers, and there were 4 of them, would do was take their little sweet girl cousin's little puddle blanket away from her and make her cry and keep it from her, hold it up or hide it.
Sorry, Pamela. We damaged you. I met her years later in
And she
life.
still remembered.
And, when I said, I remember that time and her face just got very sullen. Yes, I remember.
So, mellow, yeah. Nice, yeah, but behind nice, there's, yeah. But peaceful, well, we'll see. So I can smell the embers now. Is Jimbo here?
Let me see. Is Jimbo there? He said he would try to show up. In fact, if he doesn't show up, I can roast him. Okay, he's not there.
Okay, well then it's Diane. Diane, you're
I
on.
could tell a little bit about Jim. Okay, well anyway,
Okay.
when we were in high school, we would hang out. Jimbo, his father was the art teacher, Mr. Ennemark. And Mr. Ennemark was just wild and crazy guy. He let a lot of things slip under the radar screen, like me making wine in the art supply room. What's that smell? What's that sound bubbling? But anyway, so Jimbo was his son, and he lived in the backyard of Mr. Ennemark's family in a trailer. So the trailer was away from adult supervision, which case, and of course the late 60s and the 70s, we knew about smoking, but we didn't want to do anything illegal. So we smoked tea leaves. We rolled tea leaves and got buzzed. Oh. Yeah, the caffeine in the tea really gave us beyond high. It was irritating awareness. Yeah.
So no one has to get illegal with
No.
too much marijuana or
Not yet.
just tea leaves.
Eventually.
Okay. All right.
So during that time when we would hang out, there was a gang of us, a white suburb gang of us. So there was Jeannie Buzz and Phil Stump and Dwayne Hanson, just a whole bit. And of course, dear friend, can I introduce her now?
Oh, Diane.
Yeah.
Yes.
Diane Sewell McCash.
Hey there.
Let's bring Diane in.
Hi, Diane.
Okay.
Hey, it's really good to see you and hear you. I hope Jimbo shows up, but we'll see. So shall I
Yeah,
tell
so
my story?
Diane, tell her. Diane, you can tell when you met him and Robert and where.
Well, I don't even know. I don't even really know. I mean, it was high school.
Okay.
Yeah. And he just is there and he's a part of my experience. I don't even remember officially meeting him. But I could just launch into my little thing I have prepared.
Sure.
And I'm going to admit straight up that when it comes to Robert, I'm not only a friend, I'm a fan. And I don't know how Robert experienced high school from his perspective, but what I saw from mine was he was someone with a zest and enthusiasm for life I had never seen before. He always seemed totally in the moment and ecstatic to be alive. And when Robert was with you, he was really with you. And it was validating and empowering to be around him, and seeing him with others or hearing him talk about others, like he was just talking about Jimbo, right? It made you feel like he truly loved all of us. And that was amazing. When we spent time together, I really felt great. And we didn't talk about my considerable angst. We didn't talk about how Robert was emotionally or otherwise experiencing being a kid. And I don't even think I felt like that much of a kid, but looking back, wow, we were young. We were really young. Some of my most memorable experiences back then were the times when Robert used to play piano for a small group of us, and we all sang like James Taylor and Carole King songs. And we definitely were not the smoking, drinking crowd, except for tea, apparently. Yes. But because I enjoyed Robert so much, I really wanted to be able to invite him over to my house and visit in my room, have a little privacy. But there is no way my parents were going to let me have a male friend in my bedroom. So I got rid of my bed altogether. I never had a bed again in my parents' house after that. I bought an old used out of tune piano that I said I wanted to learn to play. I never took a lesson. I never learned. My real inspiration, of course, was to have a good excuse to invite Robert over it. And I kind of remember him playing it one time at least. And I bet it was terrible. I bet it was terrible. I know you had a nice piano at home and all of that, but anyway, but it was, it was a good decoration for me. But it's not much, that's not much of a roast, but there's a couple other stories. I mean, Robert was not like the perfect angel. He was someone who was always willing, dare I say, itching to break and bend the rules just for fun. The thing is, he mostly got away with it. I think the adults were actually rooting for him. I didn't know Mr. Ennemark looked the other way so much with you guys. And I'm pretty sure you were a ringleader for that senior prank that you guys pulled, kind of like senior prom or senior ditch day, but I don't believe senior prank was an actual thing. I think you guys made that up. But so the class of 70, we were the class of 71, class of 70 bestowed this gift of a rather unattractive mosaic, a mural of our eagle mascot. And it hung very prominently above the central gathering place in the center of the school. Now, I wasn't there when a small group of these hooligans, inspired and led by Robert, I've always presumed, they snuck into the school in the middle of the night. They climbed up on the breezeway and removed the mural to the track by the football field and buried the thing in the sand of the long jump pit. Now, I know the mural's absence was noticed right away, but what I don't know is how long it took the administration to round you guys up. And I'm pretty sure that as soon as they started grilling you, you gave up the location because it wasn't gone for very long. And I've met here in Albuquerque, a guy that works for ACLU. He also went to Clayton Valley a little bit after us. And I meant to ask him if that thing was still there. I kind of hope not, but anyway, so I don't know. I think that you got away with it pretty much. And I don't know if it hadn't been you involved, I don't know if the outcome would have been the same.
Uh-oh.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Diane.
Yeah. One more little thing though.
Okay.
Okay. The other thing that came to mind was the day of the senior picnic. Now, I didn't know you were practicing making wine in the art room. But we all arrived at Castle Rock Park and I remember two things. Someone brought oranges spiked with vodka, and I didn't know that you inject oranges with vodka. So that was new for me. And then Robert brought Kool-Aid that he had spent time fermenting into some kind of alcoholic beverage. Do you remember that? Was it grape?
I do.
I think it was grape.
Make friends with Kool-Aid, they say.
Yeah. What I didn't realize at the time is that, they'd use Kool-Aid and anything like that in prison to make hooch.
He was practicing.
He's practicing. Yeah. But anyway, it's no wonder that you never got in big trouble for these things, or at least I don't think you did. I don't know what your parents did, but even when you got found out, I think people enjoyed your surprising, creative, non-hurtful antics. And I can't wait to hear about what the rest of you guys have to say, because I've got a strong feeling that this is pretty minor league in comparison to what I'm going to hear later.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Diane.
You're so welcome.
Thank you.
Okay, the next person in high school, this is his high school years, is Phil Stump. And he's in London right now. So he sent in some recordings. He said he was going to try and, get in, but it's 1 a.m. there.
Yeah.
So Robert's going to play his.
And Phil, bless his heart, he was a rascal like me. I think that was dangerous when you get two rascals together, singing songs. And he was a great musician, so we would sing deep into the night. But here's what Phil sent from London over the course of his vacation this week.
Hey, here we are at the London Eye, and I thought this was the perfect place to take a stop and talk about Robert and creativity. To me, this place embodies creativity, just like Robert. I mean, a giant eye overlooking the Thames River and the entirety of London. I think if Robert was here, he would be making up some story or some song, and he'd definitely be making me laugh. Robert's always been a guy with childlike, goofy creativity, spontaneity. In fact, I think he's still that way to this day. In fact, I have evidence of it. Hang on a second, I'm going to get this ready. Oh, wait a second. It's a little windy out here. Yeah, there he is. That's Robert. Anyway, in high school, whether we were sitting around just hanging out or playing music, a great example, Robert, and I would be playing music to the Beatles or something else in high school, and then we'd run out of stuff to play, and he'd just start saying, hey, let's grab something else to play. So we'd grab a biology textbook, an algebra textbook, history, it didn't matter, and just start playing music. I mean, the epitome of spontaneity. I remember when first time I saw Mork and Mindy, I thought, hey, that Mork guy, he reminds me of Robert. Of course, that's Robin Williams. Anyway, Robert, your whole life you have been the inspiration of creativity for me, and I'm sure for many others. And we really appreciate it. Here I am at Piccadilly Circus. There you go. One of the busiest spots in London. It doesn't matter what time of day or night, there's all kinds of stuff going on here. And I want to tell you, that is what Robert is all about. Non-stop energy. Doesn't matter what time of day or night it is, that guy is always on the go. In high school, he was not only the lead cheerleader, he was active in thespian activities on and off campus. He was one of the leading artists that produced art for the art department, and he took a full load of academic subjects just in case college made a difference to him. Of course, you never know how life goes. But one thing is for sure, Robert's always been the epitome of high energy, and it's inspiring to watch a guy like that who puts on 400 plus shows a year for Eth-Noh-Tec all around the world. I don't know where it comes from, but wow, what a dynamo. Here I am at the Tower of London, and I wanted to talk to you about Robert and out-of-the-box thinking. It seemed like this was an appropriate place, since out-of-the-box thinking, a little too far out of the box, landed people in the box here. We're right down here by the Thames River. Robert's always been somebody that thinks out of the box. For example, when we were in high school, I can't say that it's ever been confirmed, but I'm convinced his creative thinking influenced this. Somebody at our school removed all of the bells for the alarms around the school and hung them from the oak tree in the center of campus like Christmas decorations. Now, there's no proof that Robert was involved. However, it was around the time that Robert was in high school, and I'm convinced his influence definitely played a role in that activity. Another great example of Robert's out-of-the-box thinking was when he and his really good friend Jeff Irvine determined, I think because they were taking science class together, that certain human gaseous emissions were flammable. And so they began to invoke some of us into competitive endeavors to see who could generate, in fact, the bluest flame. Ultimately, Robert, in fact, coined a song over this competition called The Bluest Flame, and frankly, I can't remember the lyrics or the melody, but just like Robert, it was hilarious.
So revealing.
So, and Phil is in the room somewhere here.
Thanks, Phil.
Thanks, Phil.
It's 1 a.m. in London right now, so thank you so much, Phil, for playing with this.
No,
And,
no
you know-
problem. I shouldn't speak too much because, it's super late here. I'm in some meeting room in the basement of this hotel and, probably not where I'm supposed to be. Anyway, congratulations.
Thanks, Phil.
And that's why when I do laundry, I still see little holes in Robert's pants, underpants.
From those gaseous
From those
emissions.
gaseous-
They're singed, too, around the
Yes,
edges.
because
there.
you would light a match up.
I advise you all to try this trick sometime with open windows.
All right, so that concludes the high school. Now we're going into college. And he went to UC Davis, where he discovers that there are other Asians in the world like him. And he lives in a house with his two older brothers, and it soon becomes the party house. And I'm sure no one is surprised about that because he still does do a lot of parties, and he likes to go to parties, and we're always the last ones to leave. So if Bill Tamayo made it here, but
So
probably...
far, I don't see him, but there are several UC Davis Aggies out there. Yeah, let me see. Well, we don't have to put them on the
No,
spot.
we don't have to.
But I
Bill
could share-
does have, he can
but I
come
do
back
need
and
to-
say something.
I do need to share something. Oh, Richard Cato, there you are. Yeah, go Aggies. Thanks. I just love rediscovering you, Richard. That's great. With the Office of Education for the County of Los Angeles. We're going to talk more because we're doing some education projects in the schools.
Yeah.
But I could show you that picture
Of?
well, okay, so there were two party houses, and each of us tried to compete with who could get the best Asian party. So Art Chen, Carl Shu had one house on one side of town, and then there was the Blackburn house. They had our house, and ours was an animal house because we had probably. When my father knew that three sons were going to go to the same college, he actually bought a house in Davis on the edge of town, and we just packed it with all kinds of students, all Asian Americans.
Sleeping in the garage, on the floor, three in a room.
the couch. Yeah, it was mayhem.
Because that was their money for food.
And books.
And books, okay.
Yeah. Anyway, so when we did reach a detente with the other party house, and this was, during time when, everyone's studying hard, and I was trying to get into medical school. In fact, I went...
I'm going to...
okay, I won't mention that. But should I show the picture?
Yeah, you can show a picture.
Okay, so here we are, hanging out at Carl's house with Tommy Woon and a whole bunch of other folks. And, of course, med school rejection.
So this is why Robert took 5 years to graduate, for one.
Yeah,
He was too busy playing his music and playing the piano in the girls' dormitory, trying to attract all the women.
Yeah.
But he finally did graduate.
Yeah.
And then...
But see, I'm scratching my head. I have no idea what I'm going to do with my life.
But then, as a pre-med student, he applied and was rejected by 7 medical schools.
They had a sense.
Yes. Truthfully, he would have made a terrible doctor. He would have not remembered where he put his stethoscope, which page the medical records meant.
Where's that scalpel?
What year is this? What's today's date? He would not be able to be. And he would probably just sit there with the patient in front of him. Instead of listening, he would be thinking of a song he could write about them or something. It's really lucky he did not become a doctor and end up killing a lot of people.
Yeah.
But luckily, as a result, we got to enjoy his artistic talents. And once again, he found a place to rent in San Francisco on 2nd Avenue in the Richmond district.
Can I say how I met that space? Well,
Sure.
Because
Yeah.
the next person is going to speak.
Is Kenny
well,
Endo. Yeah.
During the college days, of course, I was looking for any excuse to embrace my Asian American heritage. So I went to a concert in Sacramento near Davis and attended the concert of Warriors of the Rainbow with Nobuko Miyamoto and Johnny Mori. I think Kenny was in it. And I was telling, sitting around after the concert, I was talking to this guy and saying, I'm thinking of moving to San Francisco. And this other guy said, well, I'm thinking of going there too because I want to study taiko with Master Sensei Tanaka-san. So that's how I met Kenny Endo. So I think Kenny can say something there.
Well, yeah, it became a party time. He allowed himself to finally focus on his music, and which even his parents knew was he would be a better musician than a doctor. And his father was a doctor, and his mother was a nurse. They knew something. So Kenny Endo.
Happy birthday, Robert.
Thank you, Kenny.
So we're actually the same age, and we graduated at the same time. I graduated at UCLA. I actually met Robert through his cousin, Mike James.
Oh, yes.
Who was a friend of mine at Santa Cruz. And he got us together. And I think Robert found the house on 2nd Avenue. And then Gordy Watanabe moved from Seattle at the same time. So we all lived in this house.
Crazy.
I just remember it was a crazy house. And yeah, talk about parties. There was a lot of parties. I had this gig playing drums in J-Town, and I would get done at 2. So one day I came home and the street is filled with people. And I said, wow, there's some kind of wild party going on. And then sure enough, it was our basement. Robert and I shared a basement in this house. And the rent was $150, which meant it was $75 each, which was, think about it now. I remember remember Robert, the landlord was trying to sell the house and he wanted $125,000 for this Victorian on 2nd Avenue. We thought it was so expensive. We thought, be nice to have that kind of money. It's probably worth 20 times that now. But anyway, the house on 2nd Avenue, there was always people coming in and out. And it was really a good time. The 70s in the Bay Area for performing arts, whether it was dance, music, theater, media, it was really a great time. Rent was cheap, so you didn't have to work that much. You could just woodshed the rest of the time. I wouldn't say goof around, but we could just do whatever we wanted to do. And so it was really a great time. And I'm really proud that Robert really stayed with his path and found Nancy and created Eth-Noh-Tec and really has made his creativity into not only a great art form, but a way of making a living. So I'm not here to roast you. I'm here to toast you. Congratulations.
Thank you. And also, thank you for introducing me to natto. Now, I never ate natto before. For those of you who don't know, imagine a nice fresh bowl of white rice and then some shredded daikon or carrots on there, and you crack a raw egg on it, and then you put this slimy, stringy, yellowy, mucusy, stinky, cheesy smelling soybeans on there. And I go, wow, what is this? Wow, that's weird. And all the little stringy, strands of slime coming off your lips. And go, wow, this is weird. I never had it. Wow, this is good. I'll eat some more. So that was my introduction to natto and a whole bunch of other things. yeah, cleaning up that nightclub at night, in the morning on Sundays was quite an adventure for two working musicians. Sweeping and all that.
Yeah, thank you, Kenny. Kenny is a big taiko master living in Hawaii. Yeah.
Yeah.
So thank you. Next, we're going to have Rick Shiomi, but he couldn't come, but he sent also
A little message.
It's a little obscure, so Robert's going to have to explain.
I'll pipe in
of
some
it.
names, some names of
And
people.
Rick Shiomi is in Minnesota.
Hey, Robert.
Oh, Canada now.
Congratulations.
Minneapolis.
And I just want to say that those were the days. Crazy, crazy, wonderful days. And I'll always remember wanting to go to San Jose to see what was happening there. And Henry told me,
Nakata.
no, go to San Francisco. And if you're going to go there, just check in with this guy, Robert, a friend of his, who would let me stay with him. And so I knocked on the door, and there was Lou Sakia and later Robert, taking a complete stranger in on the word of maybe some friends and having me stay with them for some time. I think it was a few days, maybe a week or so. And Robert actually being the one that introduced me to Philip.
Gotanda.
Phil Gotanda.
And then eventually
Playwright.
myself and Jim Wong Chu bringing Robert and Philip and David and
David
Sammy
Henry
Takamoto,
Wong.
Yeah, David,
um,
yeah.
up to Vancouver as Bamboo Brew and having a great time there. So there was always great times. There was always a lot of fun. And I truly, truly want to congratulate you on everything you've done. All of your work with Eth-No-Tec, all of your work before that, and all of your work to come. So take care and all the best.
Yeah,
Great.
thank you,
Rick Shiomi
Yeah.
is Moo Theater. He founded
Theater Moo
Theater.
in Minneapolis, founder. He also was a taiko drummer with Tanaka. After when I went to the Philippines to study Kulintang gong music, he took over my half of that very inexpensive room with Lou Sakia, the poet, and yeah, so he ended up going back to actually moving to Minneapolis and to start a wonderful theater program there and a taiko group as well. And again, keeping in touch with some of the great Asian American playwrights, David Henry Wong, Phil Gotanda, and of course, I've launched other projects with other Asian American groups in theater in Philadelphia.
Great. So that was Rick Shiomi. And now we're going to have Peter Horikoshi. And I think even his wife, Wendy, is going to.
Wendy.
So are you there? Are you here?
Come in, Peter.
There you
Whoa,
are.
there you guys are. Thank you.
So unmute.
Unmute.
Happy birthday, Robert.
Yes, happy birthday.
And as you know, we've been friends for a very long time.
Long.
Long time. But I want to say I first met you in 1975 at UC Davis, where me and Mike Okagaki, Sam Takimoto, and Keith Inoue were attending the Asian Occasion at UC Davis. And we're walking up to where the stage area is. And I'm looking, and there's nobody standing up on the stage. There's this guy sitting down on the stage, and he had a Fender Rhodes piano all set up with no legs. The piano was directly on the stage, and he was sitting on the stage and playing. But really what we noticed was there's another Asian American singing songs about Asian Americans. And I think at that point we were singing Chris and Joanne songs because I don't think we had written any of our own. But it's like, well, you do this and you do this. And so, we got together a few times and eventually, as you know, became Yokohama, California. And this is the original album.
Well, you
and,
can see it further back.
and Robert is right there.
Goofing around.
And That was in 1977. So that's 45 years ago. And of course, it's now a CD.
Right.
And one of the things I remember about Robert is we used to get together, maybe once or twice a month to rehearse songs and try out new things. And almost every single time, Robert says, "Hey, I got a new song." And I write like one song a year. And so he was very prolific. And most of the songs were really pretty good. But the other thing I remember is when we used to rehearse. So one of the ways that he was able to finish these songs is he would write the song, he'd figure out how he wanted to play it, figure out the lyrics, and then we get together and he'd say, "Okay, here's my new song. Let's do it this way." And then the next time we got together, and he says, "Well, let's do the song this way. We'll just change a little bit here and there." And then the next time, of course, it was, "Let's try it this way." So that was his way of finishing songs, is working with the band to try to figure out, this might work better than the way that I thought of 2 weeks ago.
And he drove you crazy.
Well, one could interpret it that way. Or maybe we're already crazy.
Yeah, who would have thought going into music as an Asian American?
That's right. So we want to share a song that Robert wrote that's on the CD, and it's called Bamboo. And it's about the benefits of being Asian, as in bamboo, as opposed to not being Asian, as in an oak tree. And in fact, Wendy and I just played this song for the Asian Community Center in Sacramento, and it's on YouTube. If you look up ACC Music Makers and then scroll down where it says Wendy and Peter Horikoshi, it's the last song that we did. So here's Bamboo. And Wendy's going to play flute on it.
Woo! There you go.
But we didn't warm up, so we'll see how this goes.
Okay. 1, 2, 3. Bamboo, blowing in the breeze. Breeze blow, green dancing leaves. You may not stand like an oak, but I'm sure that a lot of folk, they will agree. Something about the quiet strength in you. Something about the beauty of bamboo. We are somewhat like bamboo, not like oak. There's a lot that we can do seem pretty small, but the biggest gust of wind won't make us fall. Ain't no need for people to be 10 feet tall. Proud to be like bamboo, not like oak at all. You may not stand like an oak, but I'm sure that a lot of folk they will agree. Something about the quiet strength in you. Something about the beauty of bamboo. Happy birthday and
Happy
thanks for so
birthday.
many great songs. Robert.
Yeah.
Thank you,
That was
Peter. Thank you,
beautiful.
Becky.
Thank you.
Sweet, so
Thank
sweet.
you.
Thanks so much.
I had never heard that one, so it's really lovely.
Thank you.
Thanks. Wow. So, next is your friend Lou Sakia.
Ooh, Lou.
So let's see if we can find Lou.
Is Lou out there? Because if you don't, I'll say stuff about you, Lou. Oh, no, he's not there.
Okay.
I gotta say something about Lou.
Okay, well, hurry.
Okay, Lou. Oh, Lou. Lou was like a big brother to me when I first moved to San Francisco. I've had several roommates in that small flat that once Kenny left for Japan to study taiko, then I had Duke Santos, a conga drummer, and then eventually Lou, Sakia. Eventually Brenda Wang Aoki was a roomie of mine as well. These are all performers and writers and poets. Lou was just such a heart, and his connection with International Hotel and Kearney Street Workshop poets. So it's just great to have sort of a big brother guiding this young buck from the suburbs. Thank you, Lou.
Okay, so if Lou's not here, we can go right to Adela Chu.
Ah!
And I think you're here, Adela. I saw you. And Adela Chu, there she is.
Me?
Yes.
Happy birthday to you. I don't have a whole lot of memories of the early days, Bob. More like the Eth-No-Tec days, yeah. But I do remember going to a party on 2nd Avenue, and I think it was Sachi that invited me. I'm pretty sure it was Sachi. Sachiko and I and Nancy, we were all going to Gloria's class, remember?
Yes, absolutely. And then Oscar, the
Yes,
dance,
yes.
dance classes, yeah.
And what happened was at one point, Gloria was really frustrated with Sachi and me, and she said, well, your body types are not suited for modern dance.
Really? The
Yeah, she
nerve.
said that to us.
Oh my
And
gosh.
it started me thinking, and so I decided to go to Brazil and study samba. And Sachi decided to go off and form the Asian American Dance Collective. And we all took off on our paths, and basically what I'm saying is I wasn't around in 76 to 77. I was in Brazil.
But you remember the party.
I remember the party.
Yeah.
And I also asked my friend Akinyele, who is a drummer, I said, do you remember what Robert was doing in 1976? And he said he had a group called Alafia and Bamboo.
Yeah.
And he performed at the People's Cultural Center and he was the best fusion group that I had heard so far.
Wow.
Yeah, and he said that was Kulintang and Bembe and Rumba that you were doing.
Wow.
And then he said you were using dancers and singers and poets and instrumentalists, and it was all a melange of different kinds of. And he said, but of all the people that were there, the only one I could remember is Robert.
Uh-oh.
But he was very very clear about that. So he sends his regards as well.
Yeah.
Thank
And
you.
yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. But Adela too. You when I met you too, Adela has this mile of a smile that just lights up the room. And I remember the time you walked into one of those parties in the basement flat, and this is where there were all kinds of, it was the who's who in the Asian American artist group, writers, filmmakers, dancers, musicians, and then you walked in and lit up the room, and then we just kept going on till 2 a.m. till the walls were literally sweating, the windows were sweating with all of our action, sweat, and the police came about 2 a.m. said, okay, it's time to cut the party.
I love those parties.
Yeah.
And I've gotten into the habit now that when the police come to my house at my parties, I welcome them and I say, oh, you finally came. We've been waiting for you.
Right. But it's all about community. And I think that's what with you and people that are here in this group, it really is about people who love the arts, love social justice and the action and community. Thank you, Adela.
Thank you, Adela.
Yes. Thank you
now
for
we're
being in my life.
Oh, we love having you in our lives. So, yay. Okay. We're going to his adulthood. Ha ha ha. Adulthood. Now, that's a real challenge in life, to grow up and become a responsible man. Here comes real life, independent adult life. Could he? Would he? And I fell for the possibility. And we married. You want to show
We did.
Want to show the picture?
We said yes.
Yes.
Oh, wait, that's not it.
Nope.
Well, we'll get there, but let me kind of change the screen there. Okay, there we go.
Yeah, so we got married. Yeah.
Babies.
Well, I wasn't a baby. He was a baby for sure. At the time, I had a private psychotherapy practice, and I was teaching dance and performing, and he was unemployed. Yes, I'd come upstairs from seeing a client, and there he would be playing the guitar or his flute on my roof deck under the palm tree that jutted above my attic apartment. Finally, though, to pay for our wedding, he began to wash Pyrex tubes.
Test
tubes at St. Mary's Hospital. Or was it delivering medical records to all the different departments? And he would finish so fast and fast on purpose so that he could go then sleep in the
take a nap
closet of the hospital.
But get the job done first, which I did.
So he was always out there thinking different ways. Well, but the truth is that I married him because he was so funny. He makes me laugh, and that's his real job.
I better do that.
But his life began to come together.
There's the Motown lineup.
Yes, there you are. There's Phil and
Phil Tamayo,
my brother,
big brother, all those folks.
And so he began to put his life together as an artist, right? The first was the Kulintang that we did together.
Oops. Oh, I'm still a baby.
Yes, indeed.
Let me grow up here.
And Judith Black, I'm going to pump you up to the first person. Kulintang, we did that, and
Working
he taught
with kids,
it.
Teaching gongs.
And then it was the Nobodies. Do you have the Nobodies?
I'll get there.
Okay.
Wait, where'd he go? Oh, yeah. I took flight at some points. Now, there's a young man.
When you were thin.
If only I had those sores.
And I could get down on the floor.
Yeah.
Which I can't do anymore. Okay. And then?
Wait, let's see. Let's move forward here. Oh, there's the nobodies.
Nobodies.
That's one version.
Because Don's not there.
And there's Don.
There's Don.
Don's right there. Yeah, that was a fusion band, rock and jazz and Latin and quilling gongs and taiko drumming.
Yep.
Yeah.
And finally, Eth-No-Tec.
Hey.
He put all his talents together, his music, his amazing ability to teach, his natural ability to dance, and his need to be the nice guy.
And weird.
Which did lead to some bad times. Why? Because a nice guy has to have a counterpart, a bitch. So since he wouldn't, I would. Like, stop being late. Please help with setting up the rehearsal space. Please help breaking it down. I need you to start doing this without me asking. I need you to, so much more, so much more.
I did those things,
But
but
yeah, you did it.
I didn't
You didn't
delegate.
Yes, so I had to, because they would be out there fixing their makeup and washing their hair.
Yeah, this is the
you know,
ensemble we led.
Yes, and so, but who listens to a bitch with a smile? So, and it became, oh, poor.
So we were
poor
tangled.
little puppy dog married
We were
to
entangled
a
in
bitch.
dysfunction for quite some time.
Took me a while to learn that setup, but always there was lots of fun in between. He gets to keep his job for me. And Robert became a full-blown artist. So, Don, you will come after Judith Black. So, Judith Black, we want you in
my
right
God,
now.
Judith Black. I'm going to get it now. Oh,
I know, unmute.
Nobody is taking this roasting part seriously.
I know, really. I told people to burn embers.
And I remember one of the last birthdays we got to celebrate with you was in Beijing when you wore those giant glasses and we went to the wall of the Forbidden City and it was like the Americans have invaded. Oh my. All right. So this is,
We were dancing and we were being crazy and all the Chinese were going, what the? But they joined us. They joined us. Yes.
yeah, freestyle was not what they did, but we did. Okay, so I think this is probably the first authentic roast piece.
Great.
Rob. And the poem, there once was a man-child named Robert. All possibilities did float. He loved to sing, act, and dance. Through life he did prance. His main meal was dessert. He liked to make beats with his hands and his feet. By ear or by clef, he can play bass with his left. But on dates, he always went Dutch treat. His temper is mild, as suits a man-child. I was born to be loftier, funnier, friendlier. He really was quite self-styled. But the lowlier toadying, like budgets, money-making, to his heightened senses were wasted expenses. He paid for better things. And so this man-child must thank her. She so did desire. She whacked him upside till he did collide with that thing we all call a career. Today we remain beguiled by a man with the joy of a child. He can still enjoy herb, but not live on the curb. You know, he did that with style.
Yes.
Oh.
Lucky him.
Lucky. Lucky you sometimes.
Judith Black is a great friend and storyteller, an actress and activist, and Mike is her husband. Yay, Mike!
Right.
Who is a psychotherapist, a very famous one.
And a good bass player.
Oh,
as well.
yeah.
Boom, boom,
Look,
yeah.
I've been leafing this whole time. So
Oh, that's what the glove is for. Are you going to lick those gloves afterwards?
Oh, sorry.
Oh,
Thank you, Judith. Thank you so much. I hope you feel better. Mwah.
thank you.
So now, Don Gwynn, who is a board member, a friend, and a nobody.
And my former dentist.
Yes. Yeah. Well, So I met Robert at your apartment on 2nd Street at one of those parties. And as a result, we're playing music, and somehow we formed this band called the Nobodies. And here is our album here that we made. And let's see, I get Robert, and let's see, where's Robert? Robert's right there. And that was a lot of fun. So I don't know, and I was thinking about, okay, now how am I going to roast Robert? I mean, because I've had so much fun with him, and I don't really know, I don't ever have any stories. And then I remembered something. So I don't know if you remember this, Robert. So the band Nobodies, we were playing at the Kabuki Theater, and those of you who may not know, the Kabuki Theater was an actual music venue way back when, and we were playing for a benefit, political benefit, and we did our rehearsal and try to get all our songs down, and we had this one song called Coffee. And and so we practiced that, and Robert had a solo. So here we are on stage, and it's time for Robert's solo. So he starts his solo, and when we think it's going to end, it's not ending. And he's soloing, and he's soloing, and he's soloing. And now at this point, the band, we're looking at each other, and we're going, okay, when is he gonna stop? And so finally he finally stopped. But that's my story, because I know Robert loves coffee, and you gotta expect the unexpected. So that's my story, and happy birthday, Robert.
Thank you.
Thank you, Don.
You get the Elsa.
Yeah, he does like to improvise.
I do.
So
Yeah.
I remember it's echoing. I remember when we first started storytelling, and we had it very set and very choreographed, because my cue was him, and then his cue would come off of me. I mean, his part would come off from me. So I depended on certain cues. And then, but he would decide, oh, here's a good opportunity to do this instead. And I would end up looking like, of course, an idiot on stage, but he would be shining brightly.
I had an idea.
Right. So
Go flow with me.
yeah, right. Yeah. So,
Flow with
let us now talk with PJ, who is also part of a couple and who started the San Jose Taiko.
Happy birthday, Robert. And we're both here because we have like a combined history with you and, of course, with Nancy. And I have to say, if it weren't for this birthday, Nancy, thank you very much. You have rounded out this creature.
I'm getting rounder too.
But I'll have Roy start.
Yes, back in the 70s, we were in our 20s, and now in the 20s, we're in our 70s. So happy birthday, Robert. So it's been a while. You probably remember better than I do, or us, that I can't even remember when we first met, but it had to be somewhere in the mid 70s. Peter brought out Yokohama, California, helped worked on that album. And I just remember a lot of the stories people are telling you tonight. So it's just wonderful just to see and hear those stories and just kind of reflect back. I just remember all the girls liked you, Robert. You're always a womanizer. So I remember that piece, that lot. I also just remember that, we were practicing Yokohama, California, the group, and getting you folks ready and all that stuff. I just remember that you were the person that you could sing, you could dance, you could compose, you could act. Any instrument you picked up, you could play immediately. basically you're a one man band with a bunch of other folks just kind of around you, basically. So you were great, and I can't, thank you so much for all you've done. You've been a leader for all of us. So happy birthday.
Thank you, Ryan. Thank you.
So indeed, you could be a one-person band, but you asked me to join you for young audiences for Japanese musical adventures. And I am thinking now that you really wanted me to schlep all the good stuff, like the taiko. You said, oh, we have to have taiko. You would book our performances where I would come from San Jose to go to Marin County, like early in the morning, and I would have to schlep all the equipment. And oftentimes we would like have to run into the gym or the performing hall and set up like really quickly. And there is one time, I don't know if you remember, but I do, because I was the one that received the injury. As we were taking everything out of the van, we were like running, and I had to push stuff in, and I ran into a light pole, and bam! Immediately, I was almost ready to, it hurt so badly. I went, ah! Oh no, we have to perform. But I could feel this throbbing. And we went in, and it's like we had no time to really think about this. But what I remember is like as we were performing and we looked at each other, your eyes just went, oh. It was turning black and bleeding on the spot, and it was starting to swell.
You had a great black eye at that time.
Yeah. I mean, anyway. Yeah. And then even I have to say, I don't have really anything to roast or toast other than everybody knows your expressions and how animated you are. I mean, I am too, but you take the cake. When we would perform with each other, it's like when we looked at each other's face, it's like the eyes would like, and there was so much performance between us, even though we're performing for an audience. I do remember like one of the kids raising their hands and saying, "Are you both married?" And you said, "Yes, but not to each other."
In a past life, probably, PJ.
I think so. But I wanted just to, express that energy of interchange, to have this wonderful opportunity to perform with both you and Nancy. And those were peak moments of like sparked energy, especially Japanese musical adventures.
They probably wanted to know if you were married because they wanted to know if he had punched you in the eye.
Made a mistake.
And actually, after that performance, I think we had 3 more performances later in the week, and it's like growing and growing down my face. Black and blue. But thank you very much.
Because he didn't help you, right? He didn't help you lug all that stuff in.
Well,
did,
he would. Yes, he did help. But, it's like, hurry.
It's the rush. Yeah.
Okay.
If only I had a piece of cold raw sashimi to put on that eye at the time.
But thank you so much. Happy birthday. Thank you, Nancy.
Thank you, PJ,
Thank you, PJ
and Roy.
Thank you so much.
Okay, Rico, you are up next.
Who's Rico?
Rico.
Hi.
Our apprentice. She's been with us
Hello,
for so many years.
To Robert, a man of joy.
So Rico first, Robert, because
a man of extraordinary musical talents, unlike me, humble, unworthy.
So Japanese.
Oh, she froze.
Uh-oh, you froze.
I have that effect. Oh.
The wonderful world of storytelling. Thank you, Robert and Nancy. for sharing your expertise, your guidance, and your ultimate patience with me. All right. So we've been working together on so far 4 stories. My favorite is Monkey Wind. The blowing, blustering kind of wind, not the stinky oops kind. Robert plays a clever, foolish, prideful monkey who takes on the 4 winds for sport and dominance. My first thoughts were, goodness, look at him. His gestures, his rubber face. A comic genius with great timing. Certainly an Academy Award-winning performer. Then I thought, he's really so good at this. Devil may care, super smart, but charmingly flawed. Dancing chimp. Is he really acting? Seriously, his daughter Shawnee and Julio's darling son, Suji, is very, very lucky to have such a warm and hilarious grandpansy.
Grandpansy.
With his trainer and minder, Gran Nancy. That being said,
Would you want to hear a little?
I wish to virtually baste you, Robert,
Oh,
in my secret Rico barbecue sauce
rub it on good.
made with 1 cup of respect,
I hope it's sifted.
a 1/2 cup of gratitude,
Oh my.
and a pinch of awe.
Ouch. Oh.
Then we add a dash of soy sauce. Who can live without it?
Okay.
2 heaping tablespoons of sugared love. And 1 choco of hot sake.
Oh yeah. Maybe 2.
And in your honor, a squirt of spicy chutzpah.
Oh. There we go.
Once roasted to perfection, we can all continue to enjoy the special chimp, ramp,
Chump.
Chump.
Oh, there you go.
Happy birthday!
Thank you. I hope to taste that recipe sometime.
Thank you, Rico.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks. And following up is Mr. Jeff Gear, the other facial rubber
Acrobat.
man.
Facial acrobat.
Yes. You know, Robert, I'm so overwhelmed with being among this group that I even put on a clean shirt. I even shaved. You know, this is the kind of testimony that you usually get when somebody dies. So I'm a little surprised that we're all still here. And giving PJ's story, I can see why you have such a trouble keeping your apprentices. Now, the story is supposed to begin with, how did I ever meet Robert? And Nancy was there too. Somehow I scored from, I live in Honolulu. My friend lined up an exclusive performance of spooky supernatural trails of Hawaii in the Tenderloin. And these two little people were at the side of the stage when I was over, and they were talking to me very animatedly. And at one point, it was Robert and Nancy. Robert said, "Do you know who we are?" I said, "No." "Oh, we're Robert and Nancy." That's how it began. That's the first memory I have of you two, except as this sort of floating ether presence, Eth-No-Tec, often the,
Oh, God.
Oh, no.
yeah, that's the way it first began. Then you came for a workshop at McCoy Pavilion, and I remember all the Asians got together and all the Europeans got together and somebody else in Chicano, Latinos, and they each had to report. And mine was the white group reporting that we're all oppressed by the rich guys. And the Asian report was, we're not all the same. Asian is a really wide term for everybody. Of course, in Hawaii, that's kind of a given assumption. You got to just survive. Now, they came for my Talk Story Festival and performed, and of course, worked it into a tour. But I remember your words, Robert. We want to work, but not too much. We want to have days off in between the gigs. And why did they want to have times off? So that Robert could eat. And actually, I had dinner last night from the Thai restaurant that you two turned us on to, which is down the street at the bottom of my hill. In fact, I just had lunch and I'm wondering, I've got a little something.
It's Thai basil.
Yeah. Now, then they came over to do, this is the last of my sharing opportunities. Nancy has this epic tale of her family's migration from China, the Red Altar. And they came over and did a living room rehearsal, living room performance, a very exclusive audience. And the part that I remember was not the performance, but Robert standing in our pool, waist high, rehearsing his lines, like, in the water with his belly hanging out. And, it was very emotional and it was kind of bizarre. My neighbors were looking over the fence. What's going on over there?
Method.
Just the art stuff. Then we went into the editing room. They recorded it, and I must tell you, the editing is spectacular. I did it.
Of course.
Well, I worked hours to get all the effects, and I found a bunch of stuff. And I remember I was paid back in spades when I started the thing, and it said, the music came up and there was oceans swirling and Red Altar. And then they came up and it was like, whoosh, and Robert went, yes. So I knew, I passed the audition. I did something that Robert was happy with. Oh, that's enough. Of course, Nancy was a little more finicky. But that's another story, and we're not going to get into that. I just like to say, Robert,
Yep.
Thank you.
He's
Jeff.
the broad sweep. No, forget details.
And she's
I am the
the
detail.
sweep it up,
Yeah.
clean up Robert's mess.
Yes, constantly.
Thank you, Jeff.
Thank you, Jeff. And now we have two more. And that's Doug Banner.
Oh, is Doug there?
Oh, did he not come?
Let me see Doug.
Did Doug come,
Where
Rupa?
are you, Doug? Doug. Oh, now I get to talk by him. Because he didn't show up. Whoa. Well, Doug and I, Doug's a storyteller in Bellingham, a great storytelling leader along with his wife, Lynn. And they created all kinds of events in the Bellingham area with regards to storytelling. And he was part for many years of, and still is part of our project called Nuwa Storytelling Delegation. Because we've done these cultural exchanges with China, Korea, Singapore, India, where we bring people storytellers to these Asian countries and do cross-cultural work, sharing stories. So he was going to reveal my dirty underwear, but he's not here, so he's got dirty underwear. But it's fun. We have fun underwear fights, so it's...
And that's why it's perfect now to go to Les Katsura, who really understands Robert's dirt.
Les Katsura, and this little ditty is entitled "A Bad Poem About a Good Man."
Oh,
This
no.
isn't a roast, more like a saute.
No!
because I really don't have that much to say. His name is Robert Kikuchi and Go. Do you hear me or no?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Sorry. His name is Robert Kikuchi and Goho. I met you about 5 years ago, so I knew from the beginning that we were like one another. That's why I call you my brother from another mother. You're down to earth, real basic, not fancy. Your true superpower is being able to tolerate Nancy. You're an artist, a musician, and a great storyteller. In orchestra known as a real odd feller. I used to look forward to your Oshigatsu, but you got tired of that, so now there's no Shigatsu. We've done several projects that involve construction. I do most of the work, you just hold up production. I could keep on rambling, but I mustn't digress, because the boss wants this kept under 5 minutes or less. I'm glad I met you, and I'm proud to be your friend. Keep on doing you. I love you. The end. A minute and 15 seconds. I brought it in.
You have lots more to go. You can add to all the ways you two work together and how he is the obstruction to your construction.
Yes, he is.
Great.
So Les is the less is more guy, and he comes every summer to help us with the property up in Orcas Island, and he's he's a teacher, but he's a natural carpenter, and he can build anything you ask him to build.
It does. For clams.
For clams.
Yeah, and
We'll
barbecue.
work for food.
We'll work for food. Thank you, Les.
You're
Now,
welcome.
I did, there's a person I wanted to acknowledge here because he actually sent a little message in, and I think it's, I know, let me just share his message here.
Wait, who are you talking? Because Terry is at the end.
Oh, he is?
Yes. Oh, no, I would not forget
Okay.
Terry.
You can't forget Terry. No.
I just want you to know that after all this, he also became a father. He became a father. Do you have a picture
You
of
mean-
you and the kids?
Oh, for me, of course.
Yeah. I mean, life is not over.
It's not, better not
Didn't
be.
end with.
Okay, let me, wait, where'd he go? Oh, where'd he go? Hey, it gobbled up my pictures.
Uh-oh.
Gobbled up my pictures. That's not nice. I'm gonna get back to the, but wow, how did it?
Yeah, so we have two kids, Zach and Shawnee. And I think Shawnee is still here. Wave, Shawnee.
Where's Shawnee? I gotta show my kids. Where'd
I
they
know.
go?
There was a particular picture I asked for.
And it was there.
And it was there. Oh, dear.
I'll get him.
And now,
the stall.
He's not only just a dad now, but he's a grandfather. And I was hoping for a picture of you and Shuji.
Okay, well, we'll get those. Stall,
Okay,
roast meat.
No.
Make
Well,
jokes.
okay. So, so I would like to open it up to anyone who's here who wants to add something to the Robert story, but make it a real roast. We've heard enough about what a nice guy he is, what a fun guy he is, what a creative man he is. But we needed a roast. A roast.
Okay, well, let me black out for a minute here. I didn't add some pictures, but go ahead. If you guys can think of some things that really are. Okay, there we go. Now I got family pictures. So while you're thinking about how to fry me good.
Okay, I'll go.
Good.
Oh, okay, let's get you.
Okay, so Robert, with all your wonderful cultural stories, I think it's about time that you admit that your favorite music is the Beatles.
It is the Beatles. Indeed, it is. Let me get. Oh yeah, it is the Beatles.
I think you should come clean and just be honest.
It is.
Forget that ethnic stuff, right?
Yeah, I think so.
That Asian American
The
stuff, having to be
Beatles.
social justice.
I'm not making this up.
I know.
I know.
love the
When we get
Beatles.
together, he always has to have the Beatles out.
Well,
to
because that's my
sing.
early beginnings.
Yeah.
You
But
got
he
the
also likes-
gigantic songbooks.
He also likes Broadway tunes and the oldies but goodies.
Well, some
that
of
we
like
sing.
West Side Story songs. In fact, "Rah Rah Rah Rumble" Terry, you remember our little gang in high school? We used to do snap our fingers and prance across the street, the quad there.
Yeah. And when I was teaching teenagers, I did a choreography to that, and they loved it. To be cool, all these little white girls, they loved it.
Yeah.
Okay, so
I'll just say one more quick thing. Is that the first time that Mike and I experienced both of you was in our living room.
Oh.
And it was like, oh my God, what is this? We had like this song circle thing, and then you get up and you're like, doing what you do, and we're like, oh my God. And we know, but we love it. We loved it, and we love it, and we were just blown away, and we love you.
Yeah. Mike and
Sharon
are the
Earthlings. That's their
and
title.
quintessential musicians and singers on
And
this
climate
island.
crisis
Yes.
activists.
Beautiful,
Doing the good work,
beautiful
getting the
work,
word out.
beautiful voices.
Here on Orcas Island. All right.
Okay, anyone else want to punch him? Come on.
Hey,
Light
I
the
don't
fire.
have a roast per se, but I do remember being naughty together.
Oh,
I remember
good,
the
Sue.
I remember the first
Sue.
Just Stories festival we had at a convention center, a conference center that was actually run by the Divine Word Seminary, the priesthood. And they have this giant replica of a German cathedral. So just think of an immense cathedral. And we were partying after the festival, and this little room they gave us was actually the African room, and we were dancing and singing. And then I do believe it was Robert who said, let's play hide and seek. So we snuck over into the cathedral, and all around, now this is a high cathedral, there's like a balcony choir where the organ went up, all the huge pipes, and like this kind of balcony around the whole thing. And so they were running in the dark through the street, giggling our heads off. And as a recovering Catholic, could anything be more fun than disobeying where you were supposed to be? We had been told quite strictly to stay in the African room and on that side of the conference center, but sneaking around at night was great fun. So I have so many wonderful memories. I have lived with you guys a lot. You know that.
Yes, yes.
San Francisco, on the island, in Chicago, at National
China.
State conferences. And it's been a total delight. And I have gotten to see behind the curtain, which I'll just keep it at that, which is lovely that you're human beings to me. And I miss you because of the pandemic. I mean, we used to see each other. It just worked out that
Yes.
3-4 times a year. And it's been years. I can't believe it since I've seen you. We'll correct that as soon as possible. I love you so much. I need to know how the baby's doing, and keep in touch.
Yes.
Yeah.
As you can all tell, Sue's a storyteller.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the hurricane's okay. You're it's passed over.
I totally lucked out. We just had rain and some wind, and I even got to do my racism webinars today with no trouble at all. So I have like 100 plastic bottles, which I've never buy of water. I feel horrible having all this plastic in my house. But no, unless something hits us tomorrow, but it looks like it's up by Carolinas now. So
There
we lucked out.
Yep, it's heading your way, Judith. So hang tight.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I
Susan.
got back from South Africa just in time for a hurricane. I have great time.
Just in time.
Yeah.
Wow. Thank you, Sue.
Anyone else?
You want pictures? I found them again. Nope, they're not there. Oh.
I'm still wondering, how do you reach Robert other than contacting Nancy?
Very good.
No, she's the one. She's
That's
much
true.
better.
Because he doesn't read his emails. He doesn't read his texts. And if he does read them, he doesn't remember them. And they just go down the stream of the entire threads of the
I need reading glasses.
inner-
Where are my reading
I
glasses?
was starting to take it personally, so I'm so glad.
I missed the last gathering. Yeah, Michael and I and Radhika, another performer, and a couple of Deborah Slater's dancer, and we were part of a group that worked with young audiences in schools, and we formed this group called the Shit Shooters, and it was mainly just to shoot the shit about life and business and education and the arts. And I missed the last meeting. Sorry.
Because you didn't tell me about it.
Where are my reading glasses? What's that thing that Radhika and Michael just sent? Where the hell is that?
Yeah, exactly. Thank you.
I got to read the fine
Good
print.
roast. Good roast.
Oh, that's good. That's a roasty. Okay. I got to show my pictures of the kids.
Aw.
Where'd they
I
go?
know.
They were right there, too.
Well, that's like
I
you.
had a question.
Sure.
You know, I was all interested in the cooling tang because it's a version of
Gamelan.
songs and so forth. And when I heard, Robert, that you had brought cooling tang to San Francisco, I was pretty excited about it. And then, so this is part of the roast. Somebody said that your band had thrown you out of the band. And I've always been curious about what that was all about.
Yeah.
You mean the cooling tongue?
Yeah, the
cooling tongue?
Yeah.
Yeah,
that
no,
was
we
betrayal.
had a huge betrayal. Someone came to choreograph. She just wanted to do one choreography. And against my good sense, I said, okay. And then she worked behind the scenes and turned everyone against us.
Yeah.
And
Mr. Nice
took
Guy
everything.
didn't see it coming.
He didn't say a word
she's-
during the negotiation. I had to be the bitch again. And so he just said, I don't want anything to do with him. Let him have it. So she took it, and she
moved on.
is now big time in San Francisco.
And out of that group, there have been 3 deaths. So the mojo is strong.
Yes.
Don't fuck with me. Yeah.
But Eth-No-Tec was born.
It was.
Yes, well, see, that's one door shuts and the other one opens, and it's
Yes.
a better one.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's right. One toilet flushes and the water refills.
Thank God. Let's flush her down.
Yeah, but it's been just amazing. But, just thinking of all of you, it's just been so great. Community and energy. So many of you are just energetic people that get my fire going. So it's been just an honor to be a part of this constellation of really beautiful stars in my life.
And I would not have met all of you if it weren't for Robert, because he does attract people.
Party man.
So
Party
thank you, Robert. And now there is a song that I want to end with for all of you.
What about?
The song? No, we will end with Terry after the song, because he's like the...
Okay.
So it's the toast that's just all-encompassing.
So we can do the song?
So there's a song that Robert has denied me for 40 years.
Never deny your wife.
I really like this song because it's silly and it's fun, but Robert always feels like he has to be seriously a social justice songwriter.
What about the injustice in the world? What about the climate
But so,
crisis?
for this, I made him do it.
What about racism?
And you're going to love it too. It's silly as hell, and you get to be silly with us, and he gets to finally be silly. Without holding back, or not that he does. Okay, never mind. He does not hold back.
But
So-
I can frame it at least in the thought that with all the things that we're dealing with now, the rise in anti-Asian hate, violence is going down. 11,500 people have been attacked, mutilated, and murdered because of faces like ours. The climate crisis, all that horrible stuff. Part of, I guess, our life is to keep the charge, keep the fire lit. Because
joy and happiness are really important. If people had more joy and happiness in their lives, they might not be so horrible to each other.
So if that's the way the cookie crumbles, then I say, bake more cookies. That's what I say.
Oh,
All kinds.
yeah, like Judas cookies. Okay.
Oh,
so
Judas
this is a
cookies.
song that I want you to all mute yourselves, but sing as loud as you can the refrain. Robert will do the verses, and you do the refrain, and I want you to get up, and I want you to dance to it.
Yeah.
So,
And you can make up your own moves too.
Ready, Robert?
No, I'm not ready yet. There's some technology involved here.
Yeah, he couldn't just play it. He wanted to
No,
make
it's
it
got to be
perfect.
rich. It's got to be. Now, okay. So let's go on.
So the refrain is, do you want a cookie?
Do you want a cookie?
Yeah,
Do you want a
yeah, yeah.
And think about your fit.
Do you want a cookie?
Oh
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh my God. Okay, let's go. Here we go. I gotta get some room here. I get my moves together. Okay. a song circa 1969
Yeah,
or
because he wrote this
70s,
with
1970.
a high school friend, Jeff Irvine, and then when he would sing it with Phil Stump,
It was
they
elaborated
would-
with Phil.
They would change the lyrics, and it would expand and so on. So
Here
I
we
hope
go.
Phil, you're still there, although it's so late for
It's
you.
in London, but here we go. The cookie song.
Louder, 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 louder.
I think that's good.
Okay, everyone stand up.
You can sing along too. Do you want a cookie? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. Do you want a cookie? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, how about an Oreo sandwich or maybe a load of Dune? Frosty white lemon coolers, coconutty macaroon. Sing it, do you want a cookie? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Tell me to me now. Do you want a cookie? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So you count to 10 as you dip it in a glass of milk, and instead of a crunch, ooh, it's as smooth as silk when you dip it in a glass of milk. Do you want a cookie? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Do you want a cookie? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Do you want a cookie? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Now, tell me now, how many of you like to chew from a bag of Cameos? So much better are your mama's homemade cookies, better than Nabisco. Sing it, do you want a cookie? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Ooh, do you want a cookie? Do you want a cookie now? Do you want a cookie? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Get your milk ready. Here we go. So you count to 10 as you dip it in a glass of milk, and instead of a crunch, ooh, it's as smooth as silk when you dip it in a glass of milk. Woo! Do you want a cookie? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Do you want a cookie? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Sing it. Do you want a cookie? Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Now, how about a crispy graham cracker or maybe a lady finger? You'll be sorry if you eat a dog biscuit, cause the aftertaste will linger. Oatmeal cookies and raisin bars and even chocolate chip will make your mouth feeling mighty dry if you don't got something to sip. So you count to 10 as you dip it in a glass of milk, and instead of a crunch, ooh, it's as smooth as silk when you dip it in a glass of milk. Tell me, do you want a cookie? Yeah. Do you want a cookie? Yeah. Do you want a cookie? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Here we go. Now, ginger snaps and snickerdoodles are my favorite kind of cookie. You're darn tootin' we love fig doodles. Come on, baby, give them to me. Careful when you dunk it, hold tight when you plunk it. But if it tumbles down to the bottom, that's the way the cookie crumbles. So you count to 10, then you dip it in a glass. But instead of a crunch, ooh, it's as smooth as silk when you dip it in a glass of milk. Sing it. Do you want? It's as smooth as milk when you dip it in a glass of milk. Sing it. I want a cookie. Yeah. Do you want a cookie? Yeah, yeah. Do you want a cookie? Do you want a cookie? Do you want a cookie? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Do you want a cookie? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Do
you want a cookie?
you want a cookie?
You can put in the
Yeah,
chat
yeah,
your
yeah.
favorite kind of cookie.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I do now.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, let us see the gallery view. Oh, no, because first,
we
want to thank you for all coming to celebrate with us, and all of you, special friends of Robert who dared to speak up.
Dared to speak up.
And a special thank you for our tech supporter, friend, and storyteller, Rupa Mohan.
Yeah.
And
A special
in
thanks
closing,
to Nancy for putting this all together. Very special thank you to you.
And in closing, a high school friend, Terry Goodell, made a recording, and he's here too.
He is here. And Terry, way back, Buck was his nickname, Terry Goodell. And wow, we go way back. Snow camping with your Jeep and doing rascal stuff in the yard of Jimbo, and yeah, just doing crazy shit. Yeah. But it's fun to have a crazy shit along with your gang, you know, and your whole family, love the Goodell family. They're just so special to me. So thank you, Terry. But I did put this, that's your toast in here because it's just darling. So I'm going to play this for a while, and you'll get.
Well, one thing I'd like to say, thank you, Nancy, for that cookie song. I had forgotten all about it. Correct me if I'm wrong, Robert, but I remember basketball games where we got the whole crowd to sing that.
Oh my
God.
God.
And Carrot Kramus was on the drums. Remember Carrot
Kramus, right?
And we had the whole basketball gym singing the chorus.
Wow.
I forgot all about that. That is so great to hear. Thank you.
And I would have had Jeff in, but he's it's 1 o'clock in Sweden somewhere over there, so that's where he lives now. But I would like to play your little message here, because you pull out some antiques that I'd like to share with the audience too. By the way, Terry was one of the male cheerleaders. There were 3 guys that did the cheerleading, and you know, back in the day, cheerleading for guys, you know, you get the scowled look from the wrestling coach. What do you mean, Cooch? You're gonna quit wrestling for that cheerleading stuff? Yeah, but here's Terry for you.
Hey, Robert. Hey, so I got up in the attic and I dug this out in your honor. Rumble. Doesn't really fit anymore. But hey, I've spent days trying to think of to recall a embarrassing moment for you from our high school days, and I couldn't come up with anything. But that kind of makes sense to me because I've always thought of you as the role model for the rest of us. You were always well balanced, accomplished, creative, musical, charming. I think you even did some acting back then, right? And, martial arts. Just everything about you I was just really admired. So I think I'll just take this opportunity to toast you. I know you'll make the most of your birthday. Enjoy.
All right. He's got the right idea with that one. Yeah.
So thank you everyone again. It's almost 2 hours. So
oh my God.
Let's all say, I'd like to put everyone in gallery so we can see each other.
Yes.
Is that possible?
Gallery. Can we do the gallery? So many people out there in our lives. Maria.
Can we sing to Robert? Shouldn't we sing happy birthday?
Again? Okay. And what we want
let's
to do
end with that.
Yeah. You want to end with that again? Before I tell you that come in October for our spooky tales.
Oh, spooky tales! We gotta show
And if
that
Robert
one.
wanted to say one last thing,
I would like.
No?
I want to show that spooky tale thing. Where'd it go? Spooky tales. Oh,
see,
here we
see
go.
how it works. Where is it? Where did I put that?
Oh, yeah, put it in. Little tiny. You'd have to get the speaker view
Wait.
again.
Oh, speaker
The
view.
speaker view.
Rupa,
Rupa, can you
speaker
put me on
view.
speaker view for a short second
You
there?
can do it. You
I
just
can
K
too.
out of the
Okay. one finger
Get
on there.
out of gallery.
Okay, and then it goes to this one.
Speaker.
You lost spotlight.
There we go. We got it. There we go. Spotlight. So, Boo, we're going to be doing spine-tingling tales from our Pan-Asian repertoire of ghost stories. Nancy's going to put her head on the pumpkin right there. No, but we're going to do some fun stuff, and invite you to be on the stream next month because we got some spooky tales, blood curdling.
Yeah, we'd love to see you again.
Yeah, tell your folks about it. Let me get rid of those.
Yeah. Okay, so let's end. I think it's a great idea,
Get
Sue.
rid of that one. Get rid of that.
We will sing again to him, and everybody will unmute so that it's cacophonous and that it's raucous and outrageous and ear piercing. So.
Like my life and our lives together.
And look at, you've got family here, Robert. Helen, Yoko, Jade.
And Jade.
Yeah, and our friend Winnie's here.
And Yoko.
Look at all the people.
Winnie. Thank you, Winnie.
Yeah, and we didn't get to see each other
Well,
here.
now we get to see. Okay, Margot Shaw. Hey, Margot. Yeah. Dana. Well,
and Betty made it.
So we'll sing, and then let's hang out in the green room and eat blue M&Ms.
And Rosalie. Wow, and Dana, look at Dana, who left us. And Maxine.
Okay.
And Maria.
Yeah.
Okay. Hey.
So.
All right. So nice and loud.
And withstand and just tolerate all the cacophony.
Oh, look, Avacha's here.
Hey, Avacha.
Okay. So, Leanne, oh my goodness. Nice and loud. Unmute. So it's just crazy. Ready and begin.
Happy birthday to you,
Robert.
Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday,
Wow. Thank you.
Every musician's greatest nightmare.
Yes, now you get
my
to
God.
really go
Yeah.
and have nightmares for sure.
That's so great to see all of you. Seeing all of you folks. Hi there. Who's that one? Who's that?
Sue.
Sue, yeah. Well, so many of you, just the different episodes and chapters in my life, from childhood and family and high school all the way up to here and now with storytelling and the Asian American cultural movement, a lot of activists there and people just doing the good work in our community. So, these faces, these folks here that you see, these folks that you see here in this picture really represent thousands and thousands of people in our communities all over the United States.
Linda,
Education,
and
social
Shimajima, they're part of
justice,
our
doing
Asian
work with
group
incarcerated folks,
So
doing work.
many
Yeah,
good
it's just so great to see
here.
all of you, artists, writers, and
Ellen Oji.
Yeah, Helen.
Yeah,
family.
Woo.
She's family. Yeah.
All right.
Richard Cutto.
Right.
Yeah.
Happy birthday.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We love you so much.
Celebrating.